Hi, I'm Ilya Marchenko.
I'm Janis Kudla.
I'm Evgeny Donskoy.
I'm Henry Laaksonen.
I'm Peter Toretko, and you're listening to the Game to Love podcast.
Welcome back, guys. Here we are once more. And it's Rafael Nadal. We didn't mention it yesterday, but he got his 1,000th victory on tour. What an incredible stat that is. And it puts him with some very, very well-established people in the long run of history of tennis, doesn't it, JG?
Mate, I just can't believe we didn't talk about it yesterday on yesterday's podcast.
We got consumed.
I guess there was so much else going on, and the Rafa match just finished like about maybe half an hour before we started the podcast. Yeah. But anyway, we're going to cover it all today, and it's just an amazing achievement. Obviously, Rafael Nadal reaching 1,000 ATP career wins.
Wow.
He's in the most amazing company as well. I'll just read some of them out. You've got, obviously, Connor's number one. He's got 1,274. Federer's second, 1,242.
Yep.
You'd think that Federer's probably going to try and get that number one spot.
Surely.
What's it, like 32 in it? You'd expect him to be able to get them 32 wins.
Yeah, 1 year, isn't it? He'll have that done. Surely by the end of next year.
Hopefully.
You never know.
And then Lendl, you've got 1,068. And then obviously Nadal, I would say 1,000, but it's now been 1,001.
1,001. And yeah, he's just literally come off court because he's just knocked out the Australian Jordan Thompson in what looked like it was going to be super quick time after that first set. He really gave him the runaround. But in the second set, yeah, Thompson finally woke up and started playing some better tennis. But nah, Rafa too strong in that tie break. No chance, JT. Get out with your moustache. You're gone. So, yeah, quite interesting. Anyway, I thought I saw some little stats getting thrown around on when I was watching earlier. Thought I'd bring up maybe one of the statistics. It was just like a little interesting milestones they were talking about for Rafael Nadal, about where he won all of his matches. I don't know if you can all see that there. Can you see that? Yeah, nice. Okay. Yeah, so obviously started it all off with a win against Raymond Delgado there. That's all the way back in 2002. And yeah, it's all the hundreds we're looking at there. You got Hugo Armando, Juan Martin Del Potro, Ivo Karlovic. God, these names. Thomas Bird.
Del Potro's on there a few times, isn't it? I can see
it.
Yeah,
exactly. Martin Klizan. That's always that's more of a challenger name these days, but back then he probably wasn't. Thomas Bellucci, Richard Gasquet, and obviously Feliciano Lopez there for the 1,000th. And what an incredible performance it was by him to suddenly, yeah, he was a bit rusty at the start, but first he doesn't really like indoor hard. That's more of his
mate.
His
the only thing, for me, what just makes it so special is the fact that it's in Paris. Obviously, Rafael Nadal, the king of Paris.
Yeah, well, he is
on the clay, but this time just winning his 1,000th match in Paris, I just think it's very fitting.
For sure.
Just what a player, what a career, and he's still going. Like he's only gonna keep winning more. I believe. I think it's just interesting because I saw a lot of highlights today from that first match, Delgado, and like sort of like it's like a mini documentary of like his whole career and the way it's progressed. And there's been so many times in his career when people have written him off, whether that's doctors, scientists, other players, pundits, anyone. Everyone's written him off at one stage, and he's always been able to prove them wrong, come back and play tennis. There was like an incident, I think, in 2008 when they said he's never going to be able to play again.
Well, yeah, well, he's done so well. He's like, it's just been crazy. The injuries that we thought was going to put paid to Rafa's career as well on maybe 2 occasions, but he's somehow just come back each time and come back stronger, which is the more crazy thing. And that's what he's saying in those interviews. He just thanks everybody that that's helped him throughout his whole career because he couldn't have done it. And he's a very humble guy. Just said could never have done it without all of the help of all of his team and all of the people that actually have helped him recover from all the injuries that he's had. And
doctors, of course.
Yeah, exactly. And think of
a miracle.
What was that statistic? Didn't you say he had like how many hours of physio it is a year? It was something crazy.
I don't know, something compared to apples or something.
It was something in the thousands of hours, I think he has of physio every year, which is absolutely mind-boggling. But he's a crazy high-level tennis player, so he needs that sort of thing. And obviously he's not getting any younger, so he probably needs even more than he did back in the older days. But yeah, I just think it's just incredible what he's achieved. And I think he's never changed his persona, always been that same humble, really nice, funny character, just a super nice guy. So yeah, you got to love Rafa.
One thing, Ben, I'm not sure if you've still got the graphic I sent you earlier, the one comparing him to Federer. I think I sent it to you on your phone. Do you reckon you could get that up maybe?
I might be able to, yeah. Just
because if you do, it's not a rush, mate. I can be talking through some other bits because for me, I know you don't have this one, but it's something what I stumbled across and it sort of breaks down his 1,000 wins. I think it's fitting to be doing this. So while you have a little look for that, I'll just go through it. So wins on grass, he's had 71 of them on grass.
Wow.
He's had 82 wins in only 1 year, which was obviously 2008 when he was just incredible. 90 indoor. 100 wins at Roland Garros.
Wow, that was the one we had.
He's literally had more wins at Roland Garros than indoor.
I know, it's mental.
Against the top 10, 172 wins. In Grand Slams, 282.
Yeah.
In Masters 1000s, 387. On clay, obviously you're expecting this number to be like super high.
Yeah.
It's almost half of his wins, which is 445 wins on clay. Yeah. And then hard courts, believe it or not, it's more than clay, but that's only because there's more hard court tournaments. You got 482, and then outdoor in general, 910. Whoa. So, it's just it's incredible numbers, mate. It's incredible numbers. And for me, I think the one that really stands out is the top 10 wins. Like, in theory, you could say 20% of his wins have been against the top 10. Just showing that he can do it against anyone.
It's just crazy.
And talking about anyone, why not bring up Roger Federer? Obviously, he's someone who's in the big three, and he's already reached the massive milestone of 1,000 wins. And this is how them two compare. And you can see there's a lot more green on Rafael Nadal's side than Federer.
I knew you'd want to have this type of thing just to fight your GOAT debate over for Rafael Nadal.
Well, we'll be doing one, won't we, Ben? I know you were saying we'll find a good time to actually sort of dissect it and sort of go through all the statistics.
Definitely.
But yeah, I'll let you go through this.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look at these crazy statistics. To think that there's two players in this generation of tennis. There might even be a third one who's obviously going to get in the picture as well. But these two, the Federer, this is masterclass, isn't it? You look down here when they both reached the 1,000 wins, and the win percentage, ridiculous. 83.26% for Nadal against 81.5% Federer. That's just ridiculous. I'm sorry. But that win percentage in 1,000 matches, I just can't, I'm like gobsmacked. That's so many. Obviously, Grand Slam titles there. Rafael Nadal managed to get 20 in a shorter time frame by the looks of it.
Yeah.
So that's pretty promising for him. Tournaments played. He's actually done it in less tournaments as well. So that means he's probably gone further in more tournaments.
In theory, mate, it should all be green because look at the age one. How's that a bad thing? The fact that he's older and he's done it being older. I think that's a bit unfair. You've got to give Roger Federer the one of weeks at number one. But it looks like he's going to be losing that title to Djokovic anyway. So
yeah, for sure.
Based off that, things aren't looking great number-wise for Federer. But of course, he's still got the 20 Grand Slams. He's still tied number one.
And don't forget,
there's going to be a massive claim now for people sort of looking at Rafael Nadal as the greatest of all time, for sure.
Well, don't forget as well, sorry to jump in, if he wins the Paris Masters, he then goes above Djokovic again with the most Masters titles as well. So we always got to have that. That's always one which people forget about. But he's never won the London or the ATP Tour Finals, which is one which is surely on his radar, and he's surely wanting to really go for that this year, because what better time if he does well here in Paris and manages to take this title, surely he's got to be favourite going into London. I mean,
mate, 100%. Like, look at all the other players. Tsitsipas doesn't really fill you with too much confidence.
No.
Zverev, he's been, to be fair to him, you can't really say too much. He's probably the one to beat.
Yeah.
Rublev, one to beat as well.
Yeah.
Djokovic looked very shaky last time we saw him.
Yeah.
It's just really tricky, isn't it? Like, it's all there for the taking for him, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree. I think we'll see how he performs in the latter stages of this tournament. Obviously, he's got quarterfinals against Carreño Busta coming up. I believe that's tomorrow. Nice to have some people in the chat. Got some of the usuals. John there. Del Potro definitely been a multiple slam winner without the injuries. Don't think any arguments coming from either of us on this side. For sure. And who we got? Anday there again. And we've got Graham. What is this? Thoughts on Stan's chances? Is that of this tournament?
Yeah, I think you're talking about against Rublev. I think it's very minimal, but you never know. We're going to be covering that anyway shortly, so stay tuned for that. We're doing a live watch along straight after this podcast.
Indeed. And Chris Mears in that he's finally back. He's off the bottom of the bracket league and he's finally showed up now. So that's good to see.
How are we doing, Chris?
But shall we go into...
Yeah, we'll go through the results. I think we'll just wrap up the Rafa story with today, obviously, making his 1,001 victory against Jordan Thompson. Jordan Thompson played some good stuff as well in the second set. Really good. He managed to get it done in a tie-break. I think he won the first set very comfortably, 6-1, then 7-6, and obviously a tie-break win in the last one.
Yeah. I mean, it was really... I think in that first set, he's so good at his... He's not really renowned for his winning or hitting winners ability, Jordan Thompson. But, because he's not good at really hitting power shots, I would say. But his retrieval was really good. And that first set, he was not able to. He was just getting pushed everywhere, all over the court. And Rafa, I thought it was going to be a 6-1, 6-1 or something. But second set, credit to him. He played some really good stuff and should be proud that he actually got into the tiebreak, I think.
The only thing I will say to criticise Rafa, and it'll be the only thing I do say, is for me, I thought it was a little disappointing with him returning Jordan Thompson's serves today. He just wasn't returning very well at all. And Thompson's not someone for me who sort of strikes you as a brilliant server. He's going to be playing a lot better servers in the tournament. Yeah, so it's a bit of a worry in terms of he wasn't hitting it particularly hard, but Nadal just couldn't return a lot of them, whether that's to do with the conditions and the court. I don't know, slightly uncharacteristic, I thought. It's just a little thing I picked up on. I think that's the reason we saw such a close second set. Yeah, I totally agree. That's a really good thing you picked up on because when I was watching it, there were just a few average serves and he was sort of just getting his racket to it and it was not even going over the net some of the time. So, he's going to have to brush up. I think he's slowly but surely getting going in this tournament. This is, as you said, his worst surface. He doesn't even like playing indoor hard court. So he's here. He's going to try and do the business. He loves it in Paris. What better storyline? He's already won one title there already. Why not another? So it's looking brilliant for him. Obviously, he's got... I don't know if you want to go down slightly.
Apologies. Yeah, I might have to shrink this a little, one touch just so that we can see everybody in there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is that right? Yeah,
that's good, mate. So then, obviously, Buster's the other guy who come through today, and if you just go down slightly, sorry.
If I go down, do you say?
Yeah, I just can't. It's Gombos, wasn't it? Sorry, I couldn't forget. I forgot who he was playing.
Yes,
Buster beat Gombos, didn't it? And that was like super comfortable. Not really much. So I didn't watch any of the match, but it sets up another match yet again. Rafael Nadal, Buster. I feel like we've seen that combination like 3 times, right?
Yeah, I believe so. And Rafael Nadal, ever the victor. And I'm sure Carreño Busta, I think he'll prefer it, probably, being on hard court, indoor. He'll fancy his chances, especially the way I've seen.
I don't know if he will, to be fair. I think Buster's, his attitude's always a bit poor for me. And I think this is just one of their matches where he's sort of, he's done well until he's got to this stage. And then he's like, playing Rafael Nadal. He doesn't really give himself much of a chance.
Do you think that there's like a little bit of because it's his own countryman and he's just been beaten so many times by him? Do you think he's defeated before he goes on the court?
A little bit. That's what it looks like to me because I think Buster doesn't always put a very good showing in against Nadal. And
not at
I think
all.
it probably to do with the fact that he just has a bit of a defeatist attitude even before he started.
Maybe they've got an arrangement. Maybe he just says, if I ever meet in the tournament, just let us through.
He just pays him off. Or something.
I've got a goat debate to settle right here. Come on, help me out. So no, I doubt it's ever coming to that. Rafa would never go down that route. Christ.
Yeah, we've got Thomas Rock here as well.
Hey,
and obviously Ende saying hi.
and
So you want to go down slowly?
Yeah, for sure. Let's go down there slightly and have a quick look at who else was it who was playing today? We had with the up one. Well, which one's the next one down on the bracket first? Because we had a few matches today, but they're all in a bit of a higgledy-piggledy order down here. We've got obviously Zverev, Manarino. They're just going. Oh, they just had the first game of that match. Just started now, so we'll move down a little bit more. And we've obviously got this match coming up after this podcast. Join us for that. Stan Wawrinka, Andrei Rublev.
And while we're there, we'll just answer a question in the chat. I think it's from Usman. Sorry if I pronounce it wrong. And he's saying thoughts on Rublev Zverev in the quarterfinal if that happens. Obviously, he's going to have to get through Stan Wawrinka today. But if it was to happen, I know you can see there you've got Zverev to beat Rublev. I've got the same combination, but I've got Rublev to beat Zverev. So wow. I'll let you do your side, then I'll do my side.
Well, I've got Wawrinka to beat Rublev.
Sorry, yeah.
I know, but it's still
okay. So, say if Rublev was to play Zverev, what side would you be on? What do you think?
Well, I think we had this discussion in yesterday's podcast as well, didn't we? We went through the possibilities, but I did say that I thought, based upon Rublev playing the whole tournament and winning it, and Zverev having a week's rest, I'd give it to Zverev just based upon being more fresh. And he doesn't seem to be upset about all the stuff in the news, so he's looking promising. So
fair enough. Yeah, I'll stick with Rublev purely for the fact that he's just been in such good form, and I think if he beats Wawrinka, he's going to be full of confidence. And I just don't know. I think it's just hard to beat a guy like this at the moment. He's just playing so well. That game against Albot the other day was just he annihilated him.
Yeah, he absolutely destroyed him. It'd be interesting to see how Zverev gets on against Manarino first, though, because don't forget he's still got to get past him. He's obviously a Frenchman playing at home in his home country. And Zverev, there's been new stuff which has come out today. Ben Rothenberg's actually been interviewing his ex-girlfriend.
Mate, he's definitely someone who divides opinion.
Yeah, man, most definitely. I don't think he's going to be in Zverev's good books. I don't think he'll probably get a chance to speak to him ever again after interviewing his ex-girlfriend. What's he up to? Snooping around like a sneaky reporter. But
his job.
Well, yeah, I guess so. But yeah, that we'll wait and see on those ones. That's not actually any results. That's just more speculative. But this one, we started off the day today with, wow, what a performance. Mr. Consistent, I think we'll have to call him.
I'd call it a Schwartzman demolition job, to be honest. And I know Schwartzman come out after the match and he was like, I did not expect this type of match today. They played each other so recently, and it was one of the matches where Fokina won the first set. I think he was up a break in the second, maybe lead. I think it was like 4-1 he was leading.
There was like 8 breaks of serve in the second set.
Yeah, so it was and that wasn't like maybe a few weeks ago. So it was such a tight match. And then to go from that to this, it's just crazy. And it just sort of shows a bit of Fokina's weakness, I think. Just didn't turn up today. Just didn't turn up. We know how good he can be, but he simply did not turn up. And he's just not good enough really at this level. You can't afford to have off days like this if you want to be winning these big tournaments.
Yeah, I mean, he's still fairly young, and I think it showed his inexperience today.
The thing is, this young chat, Ben, sorry to interrupt. I think it needs to, we can't keep, like, you look at the top players. Obviously, we started the podcast with Rafael Nadal. We saw how young he was when he first started winning. Yeah. And it had like a winner's mentality. I feel like we need to see someone young coming in and just doing it from a young age. If you want to see anyone who can compare to the big three ever.
And you said the right word there, which was mentality. And that was the one thing which I think that his youth really was showing today. His mental side of his game, he got held into a 10-minute first. Well, he got Schwartzman into a 10-minute game on the first game of the match. And he had break points, and he failed to take all the break points from that first game. Schwartzman held and it was almost as if the match was done. That was Schwartzman broke him within the first game of the match. He didn't break his serve, but he broke Fokina physically, mentally. And after that, it just wasn't the same again. And Schwartzman, consistent. And Fokina didn't have any answers. His head was down. It just looked like he couldn't get anything going. You thought he might reset after the first set was over. Nope. Still, all the problems, he just didn't seem to have any answers. And Schwartzman, that's why he is the ranking he is right now, because he's that good. And I'd put him, he's one of those players I'm super excited to watch every time now he's playing, because I know that he's a real threat in this tournament.
It's going to be even better. And obviously the O2 tournament was coming up next week in London.
Yeah. He's all but qualified. All but qualified. He's pretty much
we
there.
We can say he's qualified by now, in my opinion. That'd
semis
be crazy
he needs. If he gets to the semis, like if he, in this tournament, he's guaranteed. But
I think I read that you need Buster to win this tournament and then have to enter Sofia and win that as well to qualify. There's some scenarios which I understand they're mathematically possible, but we've got to be realistic. Schwartzman's as good as in. Rublev is actually, I think that's 100% in as well.
I think so, yeah.
But yet again, Schwartzman impresses, and his next match is going to be with Medvedev. And we saw Medvedev today against de Minaur.
Yeah.
And we was talking throughout the first set. I know we was both watching it, and you was saying how you thought it was you thought it was a very good match. You was really impressed with de Minaur. And in hindsight, I would have to agree with you in terms of, I think de Minaur did start very well.
Very well.
But what I would say is I think Medvedev wasn't very good at all. And even in the second set, I know he won it relatively comfortably, but I just wasn't that impressed with him today.
I think he did what he needed to in the set in this type of match.
He certainly did get better. I'll give him that. But for me, he's the guy I've got gone all the way to the final. It's just I was watching him today and I didn't see the Medvedev of old.
No, I mean he's definitely not the Medvedev of old, and that was what I was banking on with my pick. I was banking on this bad run continuing, and after that first set, I thought, well, if de Minaur maintains that level of play, because the level was so high, some of those shots that he played. That one that I was speaking to you about, that lob, was absolutely incredible. And he was literally playing with Medvedev. He just was bringing him into the net, lobbing him, doing just crazy.
Again, though, Ben, a normal Medvedev wouldn't be giving de Minaur them opportunities to be able to produce that lob. He had an easy forehand shot there where he could have really just rifled one into the corner. Instead, he played it straight back to de Minaur, and he was able to give him the opportunity to do the lob. And that's why I thought he was very passive, Medvedev. I wasn't. He stepped it up and he got a lot better during the match. And
the serve
based off that, if he can, the serve got better. He was a lot more consistent. Wasn't making so many unforced errors. And we know how good he can be. Like even him playing at 80%, he will beat a lot more. He will beat a lot of players on tour, if not most.
Definitely, and especially on hard court as well. I think that de Minaur, the one thing which sort of led to his own demise, really. That first set, he was so rapid around the court and he was so good at shortening he was winning the longer points in that first set, but he was also structuring the points well by coming into the net, and he's very good at coming into the net and finishing things off. And he did that well in that first set. And in the second set, Medvedev started winning the long rallies. And I think that was the beginning of the end for de Minaur. When he wasn't winning those anymore, he didn't know where to turn to. He just stopped coming into the net, and he sort of accepted defeat a little bit just because he didn't have any answers.
So what do you make of Medvedev-Schwartzman then? Obviously,
Schwartzman's
getting
love this.
Getting a lot of love on the chat. Inde saying, I think Schwartzman will win. Let's go, Diego. Also, Mark saying, go Peke. I think that's his nickname, Schwartzman's nickname.
Okay. That's just really, really, I guess that's Peke for like pequeño, which is small in Spanish.
Piccolo.
Peke. But this match is so intriguing. I'm torn after seeing the way Medvedev could suddenly turn it on. And it's a similar type of matchup. Someone quick around the court, but much more consistent, I'd say, than Alex de Minaur.
An overall better player, Schwartzman is for me. I know Medvedev's going to be the favourite for the match, but for me, I've got it completely 50-50. It depends what Medvedev turns up, because I think we already know what Schwartzman's going to be there. He's relatively consistent. He's going to be the same guy who we'd expect to be playing this match. Medvedev, he could either be a bit shaky or he could be playing his excellent best. And if he is, he'll win. If he's not, Schwartzman will. Yeah. So we'll find out what happens for that tomorrow.
I'll be cheering on Diego Schwartzman, as you can see there. He's on my bracket.
I might have to go with Medvedev, to be fair, because I've got him going all the way to the final. So it'll be brilliant for my bracket.
Is this the first time you've ever gone against Diego Schwartzman?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Wow, look at this. JG having a first time for something. This is pretty impressive. Well, Diego, I think if anyone can do it, he can do it. And he's going to have his running shoes on tomorrow, because it's not going to be easy.
Yeah, and it wouldn't be fair to talk about, obviously, we've got one last match we do need to talk about, and I know Davor would like us to probably avoid it, but it is Marin Cilic who went out.
There's two more matches, but I don't know where we're going to get about Raonic. Raonic just gets left to the side. Yeah, well, Raonic's match, I thought it was going to happen. It sort of just happened. He got to a tie break, won the tie break.
We said it yesterday. There wasn't much to say about it. We thought Giron wouldn't cause too many problems for him. Giron looked good against Berrettini, but for me, Berrettini was just not moving at all. We just looked injured as hell. So fair play, Raonic won. And he's through to the next round. So he'll be playing Ugo Humbert now, obviously the guy who beat Marin Cilic today. And that's a very close match.
That was a great match as well. And I thought this really showed what this kid's made of as well. Ugo Humbert was obviously my dark horse for the tournament. Marin Cilic, your dark horse for the tournament. But Ugo Humbert, after he lost the second set, I thought, is this just going to be him going out now to the more experienced guy? No. He had a resolve and he rallied in that third set and actually came out even better than probably he played in the first set. And I was just so impressed. And Marin Cilic gave him the runaround. And he was playing well, Cilic, as well, hitting some really, really hard winners, pushing Humbert around the court. And Humbert never stops running. It's not fair.
We had our dark horses going head to head, but you had the bookies' favourite.
Well, come on. He hasn't won any Grand Slams, though.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's a good pick, mate. I've got to give it to you. I'm a bit jealous, really. I love them, but obviously, and I thought it was a really tight match. I did say Marin Cilic would win beforehand, but something what did make me laugh a little bit. Did you see Humbert's relationship with his mum? His mum seems to be everywhere. It seems to be a Judy Murray, Andy Murray vibe I'm getting.
Yeah, Judy Murray.
I feel like Humbert's mum could be the new Judy Murray.
Maybe that.
Look out for it. Look out for it anyway.
Maybe we'll get her on the podcast.
Mate, she's everywhere he is. And I feel like she seems to me like one of them controlling mums as well. Like the one who's like, she's very, very much involved in every single thing Ugo does.
So what do you reckon on Ugo Humbert, Milos Raonic?
Super tight. Really tough. I can't call it. You'd have to go with Ugo Humbert. It's in France. Been playing so well.
Raonic, though, come
on.
Raonic
is just Raonic, isn't it? It depends. He's been slightly injured the last few weeks, but he looks a lot better now.
Looks back. He looks back to his best.
It's a 50-50 match yet again. I think we're going to see a lot of that now. We get into the latter stage of the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, obviously, I want Humbert to win. My gut would say Raonic, if his serve's going, it's going to be a real hard day at the office for Humbert. But I really hope that he can overcome that power and get the returns back. If he has a good day of returning, I think he goes through yet again. And that'll be even more exciting because then he'll be facing, obviously, the winner of Medvedev-Schwartzman. And that would be amazing. If it was Schwartzman versus Humbert, that would be incredible. Medvedev, Humbert, also incredible. So I think both of those I'll be looking forward to tomorrow. Hopefully we can get to do a live watch along for at least one of those matches tomorrow. So join us for that. There's one thing I just wanted to bring up that was from today that was quite funny that I saw. We don't speak about doubles much on the podcast, but it's just something of note that was quite amusing. There was a doubles match going on today. It was the amazing doubles partnership, which we know, the French duo, which we've spoken about before on the podcast, which is Herbert and Mahut, and they were in a doubles match today against Aravalo and Middelkoop, and they got to there's no advantages in the doubles. It just goes juice, and then you win the game afterwards. So they got a match point, the Herbert and Mahut, and Herbert hits this terrible forehand that goes like really long and loses them that game. So they just had to go. They won it on a tiebreak at the end, but then they go back to the side of the court just to sit down. Mahut sits down, and then next to him there's Herbert going bang, 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 smashing this racket to pieces right next to Mahut. And his face, he just sits there, just like glancing at him, going, like, "I'm not going to say anything to him." As long as
Who won the match?
Yeah, they did. They just won the match in the tiebreak.
Oh, right.
Completely didn't need to do that at all, but he's just so annoyed that he messed up the match point. It was just bizarre to see him going so mental. And yeah,
Mate, look, obviously we used to pair doing that with his partner. Happens all the time, but surprisingly, Herbert lost his head like he did.
I know. Well, it's just crazy. I don't know what happened to him, but then Mahut was just sat there and just like sort of smiled and just looked at him and was just like, hopefully he's got another racket and then we'll be fine. We'll win the match. So yeah. Anyway, I think that's a good roundup anyway of today's bits and pieces, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think we should go to some of the comments though, because we've got some good ones today. And Nday, we'll start with her. A lot on the line. If Medvedev is to beat, I'm assuming that is Schwartzman. Yeah, if Medvedev is to beat Schwartzman, he'll go number 4 in the rankings above Federer and push him to number 5. And then obviously Mary said here, Medvedev's had good preparation for tomorrow. Alex de Minaur, I feel like, is the perfect prep for a Schwartzman. Small guy, so fast around the court. Yep. So he couldn't have planned that any better. And Ayushman saying with a bit of analysis, Diego versus Medvedev will come down to whoever wins the longer points.
Yes, and don't forget how good Schwartzman is at those longer points. He's super consistent, and he sticks in those rallies, and he always makes you play one more shot. That's just part of his adage on court, isn't it? So
yeah, and another thing very interesting from today is Ugo actually outserved Raonic. 19 aces to 17.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. 19 aces. So there you go. It might be a serve fest tomorrow between those two.
I know I went for Ugo, but who did you go for? Raonic?
No, I've got to stick with Ugo. He's my dark horse. I can't go against him. But my gut, if you just showed me those two names in any other walk, I'd probably just say Raonic because of his serving. And if he's on, he's on. And you saw he got to the final in Cincinnati against Djokovic, and he took a set off Djokovic. So difficult.
Fair enough. I think we'll wrap it up there.
Yeah, for sure.
Before we go, we might as well have a last little look at the leaderboard, see who's top.
Yeah, definitely.
If anyone's new and they'd like to join, Draw Challenge is completely free. I'll put a link in there now. You just need to join. We're in, it's called GTL Tennis League.
It's 56
if I put the link. No, we've got 56 people in there. If you're new, you're not going to be able to join right now, but you'll be able to do it when we go to the next tournament. I think you've got Sofia coming up, and there's also a WTA tournament happening. It's the one Corey Goff won last year. Yeah. There's the link, and then you go. Number 1 now is...
Lithuania HQ is now up at number 1. So we got a new leader. Harry Carrillo has fallen down to 4th, and Dasher's still in there at 2nd. John Nartley's made it up there into a 2nd as well. Impressive. Yeah, that's really good.
There I am on the front. I'm still number, 9th now? Well, I've dropped down a little bit.
Yeah, you dropped down. I've dropped down even further, mate. So don't worry about that.
Where are you?
I'm down in...
There he is, 15th.
Oh, I've taken a real tumbling. I think I was in 10th yesterday. I'm down to 15th now. I'm still there with Serjan, though.
He's following dad. Mate.
Me and Djokovic's dad. Have a look at the full standings, just so we can see who's down the right at the foot of the table. So let's ignore Mr. Troll. So we got Pierre Berlin and Super Duper Chris Meir. You're moving back down again by the looks of it. You want to be careful. You don't want to be stuck to that. I don't think anyone's going to go any worse than Bashiashvili versus Kevin Anderson final, to be honest. So.
That was all about Tommy Cole. How's he doing now? Is he dropped off?
Tommy Cole. He's in 20th.
Oh, he's
in
just
the middle of the pack.
Jax is there, 27th. Not doing so well this time, are you, Jackie?
Yeah, well, I bet if let's have a look. Who did Jax have to win? I think it was Rafa, wasn't it? So there's still points to be had as long as Rafa's still in. Yeah, as long as Rafa's still in, Jax is still in. So interesting stuff. Yeah, but I think we should wrap it up there, to be honest, mate.
Yeah, for sure. Join us for the live watch along. We'll be doing that in a matter of whenever it starts. I think like 10 minutes time.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks for listening, guys. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Also, like the video. And yeah, we'll see you very soon.